We're just in the beautiful Bampshire area of Tarlaire. Tarlaire, the old swimming pool, the Art Deco changing rooms, still to be restored. And hello, Martin, yawning away.
Hello, how are you doing?
I was wondering if you'd like to say a few words about your new album.
Aye, what's it called again, Anna?
It's nameless. It has a pink tank on the cover.
Exactly. You're right. It's not actually called Pink Tank, but it has a pink tank on the cover, so people call it Pink Tank. But it's, as you know, we found a little plastic tank on your beach, didn't we?
We did.
A few weeks ago, and painted it pink. Because I did an album in 2003 called Airdrie, and there was a bit of bad feeling between somebody who was involved in the manifestation of it, so I just kind of backed off it all completely. But the songs are really lovely songs, so I decided to re-record the songs so they're not tainted by all that kind of control thing, and call it, well, give it a cover with a pink tank on. And the pink tank represents a lack of control consciousness. You know, people always have to control things and own things, so it's beyond ownership and it's beyond control, like politics and all that kind of stuff. So it's just the songs, nice songs, you know. And yep, it was recorded at home in Barbourville, and I sent a few MP3s to friends who live at different places, and they did bits and bobs. You did the backing vocals.
There's some beautiful songs on it, Martin, and it's available via your Bandcamp link, isn't it?
It is.
And there's a free download of one of the songs on that. There's a little taster.
It's called Daffodils.
Yeah, I'd recommend it.
Daffodils comes from a little story where we supported the Smiths in 1982, and me and the bass player Anthony threw his daffodils, went to the dressing room, and he must have gone for his tea with the husband, Mr. Marr. They were a lovely couple, you know, Mrs. Morrissey and Mr. Marr. She was a bit nippy, but he was all right. You know, he liked his guitars, but she was a bit of a bitch. But she left our daffodils on the table in the Dingwalls venue on the dressing room. So this is 1982. We didn't know who they were, so we got all the daffodils. We'd been on the mushrooms, and we went round the Camden Lock with all of Mrs. Morrissey's daffodils, and we threw them in the lock, and she was, oh, that's the first time I ever heard the word hissy fit. It was defined after Mrs. Morrissey threw one, because she didn't have a different daffodils to dish out in this charming man. Another shite song. And we were standing shaking our heads in disbelief because she had to send out for some tulips. She put them in her back pocket and she was dishing them out to her 55 fans at the time, 1982. It signed took rough trade over. The only nice thing is they knocked Scritti Politi's noses out of joint, because Scritti Politti were getting all the attention on Rough Trade, and all the other bands were like on a shoestring, and Scritti Politti was sucking all the budgets. But when the Smiths came along, they did that same thing to Scritti Politti, so I thought it was quite funny. But I remember at the bar, there was the singer out of the Joe Boxers, and everybody in the venue was looking at him because he'd been on top of the pops. And I remember looking over him, and he was at the bar and he had a leather cap on. He turned around and Morrissey was doing "This Charming Man," and he looked over at Morrissey and looked at me and he went, I'll never forget. He was just you tell your kids that, they'll not believe it. I tell Phoebe that and she didn't believe us, you know.
Well, you've got daffodils in another incarnation, haven't you? On the nameless pink tank, which I recommend everyone to go out and listen to or buy. And
yeah, there's another song called Light Step Travel, and that comes from an American Indian comment of travelling with a light step, where you don't make a big footprint in your life. And like my mother's a good example of that. She worked in a factory. She lived in a tiny little council house. She had about 10 friends, proper friends. And she went to Butlins for a holiday, and on a honeymoon she went 3 miles away, you know. It was all like in the radius of 10 miles her whole life. But she makes more sense than fucking Beyonce and Posh Spice and all them lot.
Well, as usual, there's a good range of songs, aren't there?
There's one or two. It's interesting. There's a song called The Burden of Kathy. about a witch that was burnt. You're a bit suspicious there, Anna, the way your eyes are popping around behind your camera.
I'm just checking other
Yes,
people have
there's
suddenly
some
joined us.
tourists.
Yeah. Like I might pan out
They've
to see.
recognised me, Anna.
I might pan out to see, Martin.
They've recognised me, haven't they?
If that's all right with you.
Tourists.
And just show them
Annie Lennox.
where we
Dave
are. Is
Stewart.
that okay if I just move out to the beautiful
Well,
view?
you must be pretty bored.
It's-
That's all I can say.
It's such an idyllic spot.
Try to talk about my album in here.
Look, there's
Yes.
the sea, the ocean.
Shows you how interested she is in my bloody album.
We've got the audio and the visuals, you see, to delight.
Yes. That's better.
Want to say goodbye?
It's the only interview I've had in 10 years, you know, and don't take it away from us.
I'll be up with your meds in a minute.
Nobody's interested in what I've got to say.
Bye.
Yes, but there was a song called The Burden of Kathy, Anna.
Oh, sorry, you're
Before
still
you turned the
speaking.
phone. Did you turn the phone off then?
No, I haven't. It's
I
still
was
running.
in the middle of telling the story.
I wasn't sure if this was a brief promo or an actual.
It's the burning of the last
My
witch.
life.
We'll be here another 2 hours.
God help us.
The burning of the last witch, Anna.
Yes,
She was 17.
I'll be warned.
She was called Kathy. And where it comes from is the stories about the meaning of the word